I mean, lighter cane, nice and tall. Bolivia, mother of
I'm about to do something incredible to fuck the world up in a good way.
Fourth quarter pressure, 5-ton jack with the metal box. Red one of stamp. Fourth quarter pressure, 5-ton jack with the metal box. Red one of stamp.
I'm a real thing. I done been through shit, fights, tear gas, all. I know how to do all this shit. They didn't know I was already a veteran.
With the metal box, 5-ton jack with the acetone, recompress it back. Took a 4A out each one, and it's jumping back.
All right, I like this scene right here. We're at the Lone Wolf Cigar Lounge here in Santa Monica, California. Sitting next to my brother. What you got going over there, Cav? What we doing right now, man?
Well, I'm a cigar connoisseur.
Okay.
So I just like to try different cigars. I'm also a coffee connoisseur. I like to try different coffees, different cigars. So
Okay.
today we trying cigars and coffee. I need the matches.
Okay, you got to explain to me the process. I'm not a cigar connoisseur, nor am I a cigar smoker. But because I haven't seen you in about 3 years, man, I'm willing to partake. I figure if it's something you do, you know, it might be something I might enjoy. So you got to walk me through the phase.
All right.
Okay.
What I was doing just now, they call that singeing the cigar. I learned that from my Armenian friend. And then I like to light it with the cigar match when I'm inside.
Why not use a lighter?
Because I don't like the taste from the lighter fluid
Okay.
when I'm smoking.
That's a lot of smoke, man. I feel like you're burning down a forest right now, Kev. How does that work? So do you actually inhale or you?
Some people do, but me, it's more meditative for me. It's like
Okay.
smoking hookah. I blow a little bit out, then I inhale a little bit. It give you a buzz,
It'll give you a buzz.
but it's more meditative in nature for me.
First of all, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you in 3 years. Last time you came by the show, people don't really know our history, but we've had a lot of real moments that had nothing to do with the camera or the music business or none of those things. I couldn't lie to you and tell you I was nothing but concerned for you, you know, when you were gone. But when I watch you, since you've been out, I see something different. You know, I see something kind of, how I interpolate it is I see something really more evolved. And I want to ask you about where you are now, man. Look at you physically, you're looking like Adonis. You know, when I see you, you smile a lot. You know, you're looking like you walking in joy. You know, when I follow that Instagram, every time you post, even if it's something that's controversial, you have that people may perceive to be controversial, the way you interpret it, it's all about balance. Let's start with your physique. What happened, man? Where are you? How did you get your physique to where it is right now?
I work out twice a day. I don't do this. I don't even do this seeking any type of results. I do this because this is my therapy.
Okay.
I've done a lot of drugs. I've tried every drug you can do. I've always said this. I've been ridiculed for saying this, but I've never done rehab. Rehab is for quitters. I did an interview with Big Boy, and he reminded me of you, Big Boy's neighborhood. He reminded me of you in certain ways, but not in all. And I told him that I did every drug you could think of because I'm a strong person. So I need something super strong to inoculate me. And I was saying that I guess, I don't know, this is the most controversial thing I done ever said. Rehab is for quitters.
Rehab is for quitters.
Now the 12-step program is great. It works if you work it.
Yeah.
But you can't go somewhere and say, you know what? I'm just gonna go to this place and I'm gonna replace these negative habits with this place. You have to replace negative habits with positive habits. And when you live healthy, you think healthy.
How often you eat a day?
Once.
One time a day.
Yes, sir.
What time? What time of the day is that?
5, 6, whenever. To be honest, food makes the body weak.
Speak on it.
It just does. It's like if I haven't eaten anything, I can go. I'm energetic. I'm on 1,000. But if I eat something, I start to begin to feel sluggish. Your body has to go to sleep to break down all of that food that you put in your body, you gotta give your digestive system some type of break. It needs a break. You can't keep loading food. And most people say that, man, it is. Hey, guess what? The physical cannot comprehend the spiritual. And the spiritual supersedes all things that are physical. So I live in a spiritual realm. I don't really too much pay what we got going on or what's around us any mind. And when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about God and heaven and hell. I'm talking about the soul.
Okay.
My soul feels good when I don't eat every day. I mean, when I don't eat a million times a day.
Your soul feels good.
My soul feels.
How do you define your soul? How do you define soul?
My soul? Yeah. Most people don't have it, but it's that thing on the inside of you. It's that thing when you shake somebody's hand and how you doing, sir? And you look them in their eyes and you say, no good. Or it's that thing that make you feel, hey, okay, good energy, negative energy. Like if you walk into a room after two people had an argument, you can feel the tension in the room.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes, like, if it don't feel right, I ain't fucking with it no more in life, and I mean that.
If it ain't feel right, you ain't fucking with it.
I ain't fucking with it
no more in life. You're at a really interesting point in your life, and for me, you know, I look at you more than, you know, I see you as a brother, you know, a spirit brother in a sense, the way we've connected. And
I am your brother.
Yes, and I observe, you know, a lot of people if they get put behind bars for a period of time, you know, they sometimes, you know, they get put behind bars, not just physically, but mentally as well and spiritually. And they might walk out and it's not a lesson learned or it's not a gain.
Well, when we met, I was still behind bars, psychologically. I used to wear 2 pair of underwear. I was already called it being prepped because I come from a very oppressive place. I come from Louisiana, and, you know, I hate to say this, but just being the color that I am, you know, I've been discriminated against a lot. I haven't allowed those situations to hinder anything in my life or give me negative perceptions about life, but it's something that I experienced.
Yeah.
I've also been a victim of police brutality, but I've also had strong men in my life to tell me, hey, you're a gangster. We don't do no complaining. Great people undergo great tests. Just remain humble at all costs. You know, I done had that, so I was always like, well, you know what? When you gonna stop thugging? When they put the handcuffs on me, that's when I'm gonna stop, bitch. You know, and that was my mentality, because I was psychologically still in prison. Like, it don't matter what happened, man, I'm gonna go anyway. So I'm gonna just be ready when I go. I'm gonna wear 2 pair of drawers every day. That's my way of being proactive. I've gotten out of that mentality. I don't wanna go to jail. I don't wanna be away from my children anymore, because I realized that I'm not the only one that suffers. I don't wanna be away from my wife anymore, because I realized that they suffer. When you suffer, the people that you love until they suffer worse than what you suffer.
Yeah.
And that's trauma. Like, my children have exhibited a lot of trauma. Like, if I'm about to leave the house, where you going? Well, just give me a hug before you leave. It's almost as if they act like it's their last time seeing me. Then my daughter, she got an iPad. She called me like she my woman. Where you at? I'm saying, you in the garage or you pulling up to the garage?
She on your neck.
Hey. Hey.
Yeah.
But I was psychologically in prison when we first met.
Yeah.
And because I was psychologically in prison, it was that much easier for me to go back. If you think about it, from 13, well, let's just say adult history. I don't even like talking about the past. Let's say adult history. Let's say when I came home in 2011, I went back in 13. I came home in 14. I went back in 16. I've never had a 2-year run on the streets. I've made a lot of great feats and a lot of great accomplishments during the times that I was out. But I could have been so much further ahead, career-wise. But this last bit I did, it was a blessing in itself, because I'm so much further ahead as an individual.
What was the blessing in it for you?
The self-reflection periods I had. And I hate to say that, like when young inmates walk up on me and tell me, hey, I could tell this ain't your first rodeo. It's not. I've been doing it. I know how to do it. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do new things. You know, going super hard, taking. It's like people prepare themselves to go do bids. And we're in Louisiana, 9 times out of 10, just being from that place and being this color, you're going to go to jail. You're going to go. I don't do no complaining. I don't do no complaining. So when I'm out, I go hard, I buy cars, I take pictures with money because I want to show them how I was living out here, so to say. You know what I'm saying? But that just ain't where I'm at anymore.
Did you have a different program this time around when you was in there? What was your program like?
No, sir, my program usually be the same.
Yeah.
I like top recs. I'm a recordative reader. You know, I'm gonna have a library in my cell. And if I could get access to the law library, I was just on a compound this last bid when I got shipped from the Max joint. They shipped me to a minimum because of my charge. The severity of my charge, they allegedly say that I got caught with a firearm. I didn't pled guilty. I was innocent, but I pled guilty to that charge because I was like, you know, a lot of times you could beat the charge, but you can't beat the ride. And I probably would have said another 3-4 years just fighting the charge. When they came with the 30 months, they sentenced me below the guideline. The guideline should have been 36 months. So the judge showed leniency because I had been detained in Florida in another jurisdiction for 6 months. So he showed leniency with that, I guess, so to say. And then I ended up doing 9 months on the 30 months. You know, I earned good time, supplemental sentence credit. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
You understand why my reaction would be a little surprised. Like, I've never heard anybody explain those kind of experiences as beautiful. So what are you seeing? Like, how do you see it as beautiful?
The structure, well, I'm gonna tell you something. In Louisiana, I'm used to being in gladiator camps. I'm used to going into the type of camps where everybody got knives, real chaotic dorms. Like when I say chaotic settings, like I'm used to being around nothing but lifers. I always been housed with people that had life. And the reason I like being around people with a lot of time, because their code of conduct is different as opposed to somebody that ain't got that much time. This is home for them. So the respect level gonna be super high.
Okay.
You know, you ain't, you know, as soon as I pass by, they gonna say, excuse me, excuse me. They'll say, no, sir, it's just different. But the different thing about being in gangland, and when I say that, Illinois, it was so beautiful because it was structured different. I never been around that type of structure, and it was beautiful. And I hate to say this, but anywhere I go, any compound I'm placed on, I'm gonna be in a leadership position, any compound. So it was beautiful.
Not just based on who you are and your popularity.
As a rapper?
Yeah.
Most artists get extorted when they go to prison. And to be honest with you, a lot of artists go administrative segregation. You can sign a waiver to get out of that. So I don't know why, but they'll tell you, man, yeah, they put me on lockdown. You can sign a waiver to get out of that and go in general population because that is your right. But most artists get extorted when they go to prison. I'm just a different breed. I don't believe in the fear of man. I believe that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom.
The fear of God.
Yeah.
Okay. Speak on that correlation, how it's the same from the public school systems to the prison system.
It's all institution based, such as I done been to boot camp on a military base before. I enjoyed it though, because I learned a lot of structure through being in those type of programs. I've been in juvenile detention before also, and I learned structure from being in those type of programs. And I noticed that when you're in a public school setting, they feed you 3 times a day. You just don't sleep there. And if you look at prison food, if you look at, most people gonna disagree with me, but if you look at prison food, you look at food in the armed forces, and you look at prison food, and it's food at the schools. I hope I didn't say the same thing twice. It's all the same type of meals.
Yeah.
We're gonna have chicken on Wednesday or Thursday. It's understood already. Maybe every other week you're gonna have bird.
Is it a form of perpetuation or grooming, you think, to get, especially in inner cities, urban inner cities to get people used to the idea of what prison life could be like?
They get people used to the idea of being herded like cattle. That's
Okay.
what it is. You know, we're gonna give you some privileges, and if you stay in compliance, you can keep these privileges. And if you get out of compliance too many times, we're gonna segregate you and put you in CCR, closed cell restriction, and we're gonna deny you these privileges. So now when we allot these privileges again, which ain't really shit, you're gonna stay in compliance for fear of losing these privileges that aren't really shit anyway. But once you take everything from a man, he starts appreciating the smallest things in life. That's such as a nurse coming in here. You've been deprived of affection, deprived of attention, deprived of conversation. And you know I'm a conversationalist. Deprived of these things from a woman. And you got a nurse coming in here. She may not be the most attractive nurse in the world. She may not. But just because you is filling a void, you know, you crave this because you've been deprived of it. And the same go for cookies and snacks and soda and whatever else you've been deprived of for 6 or 7 months that you was used to when you was in the streets or in the world, so to say.
You were released in January,
Yes, sir.
and a lot of us were happy for you and rejoiced for you. But what was the first thing on your mind when you were released?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was crying for help. I was crying. It was a cry for help, really, because I had to build myself up so strong, and I was governing a large body of men, a large body of monsters was under my leadership, under my guidance, and
While you were incarcerated?
yes, sir.
Those who were incarcerated or those that weren't?
Those who weren't and those who were.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I still govern a lot of people. So when I came home, I think I was a little too militant for the setting that I was in. The way that I was conducting myself on the streets, I think it was a little too aggressive for the setting. You know, I should have left that in prison, but I had lived there so long. You know, when I'm on the streets, I shake hands with somebody. But in prison, if somebody asks me, where you from? I ask him, where you from? And then he'll be like, I'm from such and such. And I say, bet. After, bet, B-E-T.
Oh, B-E-T, bet.
Yeah, bet. After that, I ain't doing no more talking. And I'm pretty sure this person gonna catch the vibe that I'm not talkative. People, but I looked like a monster. I had hair all over my face. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I was showering and everything, but I wasn't allowed to have razors at one of the joints I was at. One of the joints you couldn't have razors. So you had to get the barber to come around and they would shave you, but I was like, y'all not cleaning the clippers properly. I'm not about to let nobody, you just cut his hair, I'm not about to let you put that on me. So I just let my hair grow long.
That's why you let the facial hair grow.
Yeah, I let it grow.
Okay.
You know, I ain't care about nothing, really. As long as I could pray, as long as I could read, as long as I could keep with my routine, I was well.
Your wife came to visit you. That was the only visit.
Yeah, I don't know. They say that the article, they say it was an article. I never saw the article, but being that I was incarcerated, they say I was in, Illinois tried to say that I was a gang chief, that I was ordering, sanctioning hits on people in the prison, but I was like, if I'm sending all these hits on people, where are the victims? They say they was keeping the confidential witnesses and confidential for fear that retaliation may take place, and that's not at all true. They say I was a gang chief. I've never been a gang member. How could I be a gang chief? You know. But you know, it was so many different people that was in so many different gangs that I affiliated with, and they never saw nobody had that kind of control. And it really wasn't control, it was just love. And then I believe it was right after I led that prayer. You got all the killers in here praying, but I led the prayer because I speak Arabic a little bit, not a lot, just a little. And I led the prayer, and after they saw that, you know, shit got a little different.
What was the prayer? Which prayer was this?
I practice Islam, so I was standing in the front, and a lot of the men were standing behind in rows, and we all pray together. You know, we come together and worship one God. I don't see why it's illegal to pray, but it's not illegal to be a gangbanger. You can gangbang all day,
But illegal to pray.
but it's illegal to pray.
In that prayer ceremony, is it always the same man, or do men
Nah,
rotate?
different brothers
men, right?
lead, you know,
Yeah.
different brothers lead, but, you know, the joint I was at, it was a real racist joint that I was at, and they feared unity. They feared solidarity. They feared that, so they put me in lockdown. It's no big deal. I'm not complaining.
But I just feel like your example of your hold on while you do that.
You know who this is?
Who's that? Oh, that's your daughter?
Where are you? Hey, y'all, it's not funny to laugh at someone who's talking to a dad.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize.
How old are you, beloved? Eve.
Don't let anyone laugh at you.
They not gonna laugh at you anymore. They wasn't laughing at you. They was laughing at how intelligent and how smart and how beautiful you are. They never heard nobody your age speak with such intelligence. How old are you?
5.5.
Okay. But look, baby. Baby,
you.
I'm about to take care of my demonstration. When I finish standing on this nation business, I'm gonna come see you. I love you, all right?
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
My God. Hey, wow, man. Give that young lady a round of applause, man. That's how you handle your daddy right there. But that's funny, because you said she calls you like she's your woman.
Hey, this the only, hey, when my phone ring when I'm in the gym,
Yeah.
it's her. I know it's her. Even if it's her mama name show up, I know when it's her. I can feel my children. I can feel them. I know when it's them. And I never talk to her with that goo goo gaga. I never.
Never
I
do
talk to
that.
her like an adult, because that's what she is to me.
You sound powerful.
Either you learn fast or you die young.
She sound confident, too.
She the truth. She gonna, hey, I ain't gonna lie. Whatever man she find, he gonna have hell on his hands.
Wow. Yeah, she sound like
She
that.
don't settle.
BWA will be a part of her legacy, too.
It's a part of your legacy also. You are a breadwinner. Everyone is. It don't matter what you say that you affiliated with or what title you give yourself. If you do anything to earn an income, if you go to school, if you go to work, whatever you do, you're winning bread. The breadwinner is the one who put the bread on the table. And our organization, as far as musically, we are breadwinners. We win the bread. If I gotta go scrub a toilet, if I gotta go work at McDonald's, whatever I gotta do to win bread, to earn income, I'm gonna win the bread. I never let my pride get in the way of my hustle. I'm not ashamed to be the person to valet your car, because this is just practice for the next level. I need to know how to drive all this shit, because I'm gonna have all this shit. It's just a pit stop. Life is a journey. For me, it is.